Hello there, Cancer. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the month of February. I am breaking this down into two separate time frames. First, we're going to look at February the 1st through the 14th, and then after that, we'll look at the 15th through the end of the month. For those of you who are cross-watching because you want to get some insights on a Cancer that you care about, you are definitely welcome to be here. I do want to point out, though, that on my channel, energies do not cross over. So this is a reading for Cancer and about Cancer. If you would like to have a reading about you, then you want to go to your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising signs reading, or any combination thereof that works for you to see what's going on with your particular energy. Okay? Let's get the cards down for Cancer for the time frame of February 1st through the 14th. What do we have? Okay, Cancers, we have your cards on the table. First of all, we are going to look at your environment, and your environment is any place where you may have energy or effort invested. So usually home, but not always, sometimes at school or work. Looks to me like you're feeling pretty safe and secure in your environment. Things are going well there. And it looks like if you had something that was limiting you or some kind of contract that you weren't happy with, you are coming away from that contract or that agreement during this time frame. And I think, to me, this just feels like relief. To me. So anyway, contract or agreement ending when it comes to your environment. You are feeling very safe and secure there. Things are going well. So with this contract or agreement ending and with these other cards here, I don't feel like this is a bad thing. I feel like this is something that actually enhances the environment for you. Now, let's look next at your subconscious leanings, Cancer. What do we have here? You've got somebody on your mind, probably a male for most of you, and this is sort of a negative Ned type of energy. This is somebody who is angry or has the blues, just as they're very negative. Negative Ned is just what works for this situation. And I feel like this person, it really... You're feeling about this person like they feel like they have no hope of making some kind of change in their life, which really needs to be changed. And so I think that in your subconscious, you're really working on, what can I do to help facilitate the change for my negative Ned here? Is there anything that I can do to sort of kickstart this guy into a positive place? So, yeah, be careful about that, Cancers, because, we each have our own battles. I'm not saying don't help them or don't be supportive, but be careful about how much responsibility you're taking for how this other person is allowing themselves to feel. Okay? Now, let's look next at learning style and communication style during this time frame. I do feel like there's something that you know very well that you've been gathering information on for years, and it may be something that, the information is continuously in flux and changing, and I think that you're pretty much up to speed with that. You're learning the new information, you're keeping up with all that influx and changing on top of your solid foundation that you have, because I think you've been keeping up with this as it evolves for most of you for years, but definitely for a long time. Also going on in learning style, there are some changes that you yourself want to make. And now I'm not talking about negative Ned over here anymore. There are changes that you want to make in your own life. And I think you are doing some research and learning about how to make those changes. And I think those changes probably have to do with your community of people that you have around you with your sphere of influence. Now, a sphere of influence isn't just the people that you influence. The sphere of influence is also the people who are in your sphere who influence you as well. So that sphere of influence is a very dynamic thing. And I think at this point, you're really wanting to have a sphere of influence around you. You're wanting to upgrade the sphere of influence who is influencing you. Okay? And then also when we have learning style, it's interesting. There is something that you're finding out about, that you're very passionate about. And I feel like whatever this is you're finding out about that you're very passionate about, it's kind of overflowing. Like you're getting so much information that it's sort of overwhelming to you. And I think that there's a lot of action going on around whatever this is that you're learning about. But I see you as sort of being a more passive observer. I don't see you jumping in to learn whatever this information is. I see you watching how things are going down and gathering information from your observations. Okay? Now let's look at your communication style during this time frame. I feel like you are communicating with a lot of people. It may be your responsibility to communicate information with a lot of people, to keep everybody abreast of what's going on, what are current events, what are policies to handle the current events, that type of thing. I also feel like there are certain people in your life that when you communicate with them, they really take what you say as something that they can take to the bank. They're expecting that whatever you say is going to be absolute and true and reliable. And so I think that these people, whatever you say, they're counting on your every word, Cancer. They're believing your every word. And they would stake their life on your every word if the situation should so arise. Last thing I'm looking at for communication style, I think that you are focused on spiritual communication, communication with the divine, whether you call that prayer, whether you call that meditation, whether you call that spells, whatever your style is for communicating with the divine. I do see a significant amount of that going on during this particular time frame. And it's really beautiful. It's some beautiful energy. Looking next at work for you Cancers. You're not very... What's going on here? Oh, okay. All right, so Cancers, there's somebody in your workplace who has shown you their true colors, and now that you're seeing their true colors, I think you've kind of taken them off of a pedestal, where before you sort of had them on a pedestal, like maybe they could really do no wrong, and now you're realizing, you know what, they're human. They're just like me. They have flaws. They have fallibilities. They're just not the same flaws as mine. And so they're coming off of that pedestal. You don't have, you don't hold them in as high of an esteem as you used to. And what comes across to me is that you're seeing them in a more realistic way, actually in a more healthy way, now that you've seen their true colors. I do think that overall you like your work, you enjoy your work, even with that new revelation of how your person is at work. And I really think that a part of what's going on at work during this time frame is that there's somebody in your sphere of influence there who's coming to a point where they feel like they have a problem that they don't have solutions for. And this person is one who's used to coming up with ideas when nobody else can come up with ideas. And so for this person to be stumped is uncomfortable for them especially. But I think the impression I'm getting as I'm feeling into this situation is that it's also uncomfortable for the people around this person because they're so used to this person being the go-to person for all the answers and solutions. And so I think that part of your work this week is to hold space for this person. Maybe you're a sounding board for them, or maybe you're just sending them energy to find clarity or find their solution. But this is part of what's going on at work for you, is you're holding space for or supporting this person in some kind of, I think it's actually really a subtle way for most of you. For a few of you it'll be pretty blatant, but for most of you I think you're going to be supporting them in some kind of really subtle way. Now, what else do we have happening? Next, we're looking at that part of your personality which is growing or expanding as you go through this particular time frame. There is a new start that you have identified that you want to make. There's a change. You've been looking at different things that you could do to improve your quality of life or your lifestyle. And you have identified something that you can do. I don't know that I want to say it's exactly a whole new start, but it upgrades a situation that you have in your life. And I think that you're identifying this during this time frame. However, I don't think you're moving forward with it yet. From the cards that I have here, I would say that you're holding back. I get the sense really that you are kind of waiting to see how things pan out before you make any changes. So you've identified something that you can do, but you're holding back to see what happens first. And I think that part of that is waiting to see how somebody else in your sphere of influence is going to handle things. It almost comes to me that, you don't want to step on anybody's toes. You don't want to jump in and do something when somebody else has the opportunity to make things better. But when there comes a certain point and this person hasn't done that, I think that you would go ahead and make the changes that you're seeing need to be made. But like I said, I think for this time frame, you're just kind of sitting back, you're waiting to see, you've got your plan in place if needed, but you're not necessarily taking any action just yet. Probably not. All right, let me wet my whistle, guys. Guys and gals, I'm running out of whistle water. Try that again. Much better. All right, Cancers. So next thing that we're going to look at talks to me about something that you stand for. This is going to be something that somebody is going to be approaching you about. They may need an explanation. They may actually confront you and you have to defend this. So wherever it falls in that spectrum, this is something that you stand for. By the way, if you like this reading, please hit subscribe, like, share with others who may benefit from it. So what are you standing for, Cancer? So it looks to me like you were carrying some kind of responsibility. You were doing something for somebody else. And I think that you put down those responsibilities. You said, you know what, I think I want to back off of this a little bit right now. And as you did that, you sort of set up a boundary. You said, I'm not doing this again until whatever that might be. And I think that what's going on is you knew there was something fishy going on with this situation, and you weren't sure how involved you wanted to be with this situation until the truth came out. Well, you setting down these responsibilities and stepping back is actually what's bringing the truth out. Now you're finding out more about this situation. Now you get a chance to decide, do I want to pick up those responsibilities again, or do I want to leave them right there where I put them and head straight for the hills? So this is something that you're having to defend, this whole behavior of putting down this responsibility, setting up boundaries, and letting the truth come out. Somebody's confronting you or asking you for an explanation about this. How they see you after you've had a conversation with them about this situation. They see you as having interacted with someone or some situation that really honestly was toxic. And they see that, you really tried to communicate as much as you could to make the situation one that was more healthy and more productive for everybody and better. And in the end, you just accepted that it is what it is, and you had to, they're seeing that, you had to make a decision whether you want to move forward with that toxicity or not. even after the negotiations are over. So really interesting situation there. But I'm glad to see that, you're standing up for yourself, that you're finding out the truth. You're not letting somebody just manipulate you and walk all over you and get you to do things without even really knowing exactly what you're participating with or in, because we all know that's not cool. That's a good way to get yourself in trouble. All right, so next thing we're looking at here, Cancers, talks to me about your flex point. This is where you have a lesson or an experience. It changes your perception, and as your perception changes, that changes your trajectory on your life path. So what we're seeing here, I feel like there's some type of competitive situation that you're really getting involved in, and this is something that is traditional. It's long-standing. So this could be a marathon that maybe has been going for 20 years or 50 years in your city, or maybe well, it's not the Olympics this year, but this is some type of event, and it doesn't have to be a sporting event. That's just the examples that are coming straight to the top of my head. But it is something that takes a lot of activity, a lot of energy. It's something that's competitive, and it's something that is a classic. Maybe even it's golf, or maybe it's a horse race or NASCAR. I don't know, something competitive. But I feel like there's something competitive that is going on during this time frame that you are spending a lot of money on, or spending a lot of energy or effort, putting a lot of energy or effort into one or the other. Now, you may be a participant in this thing, but you don't have to be. You could be somebody who's buying tickets to some kind of big deal competition thing as well, or long-standing competition. So that's what we've got coming up as the lesson or experience during this particular time frame. Let's see what's going on as you're pouring out this money, or pouring out your energy for this competitive, classic competitive thing, situation-y thing. I don't know. Well, there is something that you're trying to walk away from, although I don't think that you're really able to completely walk away from this thing. There's just loose ends that cannot be tied up here. And I think that whatever this is that you're trying to walk away from, as you're trying to walk away, what you're actually inspiring is somebody else to really bring in the drama about you walking away from the situation. So I'm expecting that as you're trying to walk away from a situation that won't be completely wrapped up, there's going to be somebody else in your sphere of influence who is basically just having a full-blown emotional fit over the idea that you're doing this. Okay. La da da da. What else is going on at the same time? There is a partnership. This could be a romantic partnership, a friendship. This could be a family member, a tribe member that you get along with really well. I feel like there's something going on in this partnership that makes you feel like you've been betrayed. And it really, whatever this is, I feel like it shakes the whole foundation of this partnership right to the core. And so as you are, as you're preparing to go to this competitive event, you've got somebody who, as you're getting ready to walk out the door, they're throwing a fit. And I think that this is really what I'm seeing here. This other person really throwing a fit is causing a lot of heartache and heartbreak for you, because you feel betrayed by them. Maybe they're trying to say, no, I don't want you to go to this thing that you've invested so much time or energy or effort to. And so at this point, it looks to me like wherever you guys have been partnered up, this really shakes the foundation, because basically because you don't have room to be you. I don't get the sense that, you didn't tell this person you were involved in something, and that, this was on the calendar but I get the sense that they're still having a fit even though you were upfront with them. I do think that you're still going to move forward with whatever this partnership is. I don't see it totally combusting, but this is kind of a massive blowout that I'm seeing here, to be honest with you. All right? And those of you who have been watching me a while, you know I don't believe in candy coating. I believe in telling y'all the truth the way it looks on my table, because I'm not helpful to you if I candy coat, you know? And the whole reason for me to do this is to be helpful to you. So what do we do if we see some things that we don't like show up in the reading? Well, we use our free will to change the trajectory of that energy. All right, let's look at where you are at the end of this particular time frame, Cancer. So what do we have? I think that you're going through some major transformations yourself, and this may be because of that, you know, that shake in the foundation with that partnership. And it looks to me like you're really feeling like, you know, I'm not so sure that I can handle doing this all on my own by myself, but this other person is no longer participating, no longer collaborating with me. And so I think that the transformation you're making here is you're picking up the slack and you're learning the skills of whatever this other person contributed to whatever goals you guys were working on together. You're finding those skills, or you're finding somebody else who has those skills to help you with just keeping this thing going. For some of you, getting it off the ground, but for most of you, actually keeping this thing going that you had been working on with that partner before. Okay, so that's what we have for the first part of the month, Cancer. I'm going to take a break. When I come back, we're going to look at the second half of the month. Thanks for being here. See you soon. Welcome back, Cancer. This time we are looking at February the 15th through the 28th, checking out what kind of energies are moving through for you. I can tell Mercury is already retrograde because I'm trying to combine words. Trying to put two words into one word, and the one word is not going to make sense if it comes out of my mouth. All right, let's see what you guys have. Okay, Cancer, we've got the cards on the table for you. What we're looking at now is your environment for this time frame. Looks like, at least at the beginning of this time frame, you are sharing your environment with somebody who is, very, they like the finer things in life, and he probably feels pretty secure. For most of you, it'll be a he. This could be somebody who is artistically oriented, but definitely they feel like, they are pretty comfortable in the resources that they have. There is, however, some kind of disappointment that shows up here in the environment, and I think that may be that there's somebody, it might even be you, but I'm not sure that for all of you it's you, Cancer, but there's somebody who is leaving the environment. Maybe if this is your work environment, this could be somebody that is going on to a different position or going home for maternity leave, or this could be you moving into something, but it comes across as that this is a sad time for some of the people who are there and letting this person leave, whether it's you or somebody else. And bittersweet. I think you're probably happy for this other person, but still you're going to be missing them. Or if it's you, you're going to be missing these people. But moving forward and upgrading is, something that we have to do in life. All right, so the next thing that we're looking at for you, Cancer, talks to me about And by the way, that doesn't have to be a work environment just because I mentioned that. That could be a home environment too, where somebody's leaving home. Subconscious leanings is what I'm looking at next. Okay, so it looks like there's somebody in your sphere of influence who is constantly telling tall tales. That's just kind of their mode of operation. And it looks to me like you've pretty much got their number. You know what the truth is in spite of everything that they're saying. And it looks to me like on a subconscious level, you're putting together some kind of plan about, how you want to cope with this situation, or what do you want to do about this person who's just always telling tall tales. What are you going to do with that situation? That's what you're working on with your subconscious. Now, next thing I'm looking at does talk to me about learning style. I do see that you've got a lot of information coming into you. I think that you could very well be personally researching yourself. You could be in a formal class. There's so much information coming in here. Or it could be something that you're just very interested in, that you're just digging up more and more and more information. There is a lot of confusion around this. Okay, so I'm going to take this back. I don't think you're necessarily in a class. You may be getting information off of different sources, different people, different websites on the computer, some combination thereof. And so even though you're getting all this information, there's still some confusion because I feel like maybe all that information doesn't necessarily align or match up, and that's why you're feeling confused here about that. And you're really just trying to cut through the confusion and figure out, okay, who's the expert? Who's the person who really knows? Who's the person I should actually be taking seriously as I'm gathering my information? All right. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about your communication style. I feel like you're communicating in very solid ways, meaning that whatever it is that you say to people in your sphere of influence during this time frame, they can take it to the bank. If you say that you're going to accomplish something, you're going to accomplish something. If you're saying that something didn't happen, it really didn't happen. And you're not wavering back and forth in your communication either. Whatever you're saying, if somebody asks you to repeat the same story again, they're getting the same story again. There's nothing changing here because you've got some very solid, rock solid communication going on. What else do we have as far as communication? I do think that you're talking to some people about some changes that you would like to make in your life. In our last time frame, we saw that you were looking to change some people in your sphere of influence. Those people, more those people who influence you, you were looking to change in your sphere of influence. And I think that you are talking to some of these newer people here, and I think that you are talking to them about some changes that you would like to make in your life. I think that the way this is showing up, I think that you wanted these other people in your life because you wanted to do something different in your life than what you have done. And you're expecting that if you surround yourself with people who have done what you want to do or have that knowledge of how to, then that's going to make it that much easier for you. And so I do see you talking to these people, at least some of these people, about the changes that you want to make in your own existence, in your own experience. Next thing we're looking at is work. Work. Work is definitely really stressful right now, and it looks to me like you may be getting some news that says, well, you can't do work the way that you would normally do it, or there's limitations. You can only do it from this time to that time, or maybe you can only work outside, you can't work inside, or maybe you can only work from home, you can't work at the office, or whatever it is, there's some kind of limitation or restriction that is coming in about work, and it's making things really stressful for you. I don't think it's that you're not working. I think that you're working under some really severe limitations that are making you question, can you actually reach your goals working under these severe limitations? And I think that you're hopeful. You're definitely hopeful that you will, but it is having you operating under this constant stress all the time. Next thing that we're looking at here, Cancers. Talks to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. Oh, Cancers, you guys are learning how to do some law of attraction style manifestation. You're learning how to really put your emotions into those requests that you're making from the universe during this time frame. And I think you're seeing your evidence of manifestations really grow during this time frame because of putting those emotions into it. You may even, for some of you, not for all of you, you may have a manifestation buddy who is sort of holding you accountable as well. Now, what are we looking at next? This is going to be something that you stand for. So this is going to be somebody's asked you to explain something, or maybe they've even confronted you about something. And so you've had to stand up for this situation. What do we have here? What do we have here? This is talking about this partnership that sort of went off track that we saw last time frame, and how it looks to me like when this partnership went off track, it was exactly the opposite of what you actually wanted to happen in this partnership. And now there's a lot of tension between you and this other person. It seems to me like there's rivalry, or there's just antagonism between you and the other person. And after you've explained this situation to the person who asked you about it, they're feeling like you are, you're very capable yourself. You're very self-sufficient. They feel like, you can handle this situation. So the partnership went off track. They feel like you've got this. And this other person is actually finding this to be a very attractive thing about you. It's something that makes you valuable to them. Now, is this person somebody who has a romantic interest, and this is something that, makes them feel attracted to you? Or is this somebody who, is a potential business partner? I'm not sure from these cards which way that's going. But there is somebody who, once they have this conversation with you, they're seeing the value that you bring to the table here. And I think also they're feeling like there are other things you could do that would probably be much more fulfilling for you than picking up the slack where this other person bugged out. All right. Next, we're looking at your flex point during this time frame. This is where you sort of change perspective, and so your trajectory changes a little bit here. Let's see what's going on during your flex point. Okay, so I think you're taking some time sort of away from focusing on work and income and money, and you're taking some time to spend really by yourself looking for what's your priority, what's important to you, what do you really want to maximize in your life, at least for right now. And you're also spending some time with friends, sort of getting grounded, and maybe even running some ideas by them, and seeing also what kind of support they are able to offer you during this time frame with some of these new priorities that you're discovering about yourself. What else is going on at the same time? Yep, you're taking a break from collaborating with other people. Remember, we saw you taking a break from focusing on money. So this could be, taking some time off of work. This could be taking a break from collaborating with other people. And I think that part of the reason that you're taking a break, you're sort of stepping back to regroup because you're not really feeling enthusiastic about what you're doing in this collaboration anymore. I think you used to, and I think it bothers you that you don't so much anymore now. And I also feel like circumstances there have changed so that you're not really able to, in this collaboration, focus on the same things that you used to be able to. So you're taking a break. You want to get some more objectivity about this, because I don't want to say that you're feeling necessarily burnt out. I think you're really good at what you do. I don't think that you have this attitude of, oh God, I just don't want to go in, but you just don't have the same enthusiasm that you used to. And I think you really want that passion and enthusiasm for what you're doing in this collaboration. Also, at the same time, what's going on? It looks to me like you feel like, as you're examining your priorities, it looks to me like you've identified some type of block that keeps you from reaching the goals that you want to reach. Maybe what you're finding is that your priorities haven't really changed, but you haven't really gone for your priorities in a while. And so as you're finding that, there seems to be some kind of block that's holding you back, I think that you are going to somebody who can help you clear those blockages. And I do think that this is a paid service. There's an even exchange here. This is either a paid service or you're bartering, where you're doing something for them while they're helping you with this. But there's something like that going on. I mean, this could very easily be going to a shaman to defragment your soul. This could be going to a Reiki practitioner or a Reiki master and having some Reiki work done to clear blockages and to open up those chakras again and get them all functioning. This definitely, I feel like this is definitely energy work to help clear some of those blockages. You could, for some of you, you could be going to a psychiatrist, a psychologist, some kind of counselor. I guess that would apply here too. But the biggest impression I'm getting, so for most of you, I think what you're getting is some kind of energy healing modality is what you're turning to help you get past some of the blockages that you're dealing with, so that you can do those things that are important to you, whether that's having a great relationship, whether that's, putting your career on turbo boost, whatever that is for you, increasing your health, lots of different things that could be. But you're looking at getting help clearing out blockages so that you can accomplish what you want to. Now, where do we see you at the end of this month, Cancers? You have a choice in front of you. And no matter what you choose, it's actually a good choice. And I think that for now, what you're actually choosing is to put an end to a situation where that could potentially be romantic, maybe even a friendship, but I think this is more romantic. Somebody's giving you some romantic attention, Cancer, and I think that you're putting an end to it. And the fact that this is coming up as a decision that you're making, that that there's not a wrong decision, and that this is the decision you're making, this is probably your best decision. You may want to be focusing on your career, or some of you may already be partnered up and you have somebody else giving you romantic attention, and you're just like, I don't know what made you think I want that. Go, get on down the road type of thing. But anyway, I do think there's somebody here that's giving you some romantic attention, and you're putting an end to that. You're putting an end to that, and you're choosing to do so very consciously. All right, so that tells me that you've got something else that you want to make a priority, that you want to pay attention to, and you don't want to be distracted by this other outside influence that's coming at you with this energy. Okay? So that's what I've got for you, Cancers. Thank you very much for being here, for thumbs upping, sharing. Thank you for scheduling private readings and private Reiki sessions with me, and thank you for participating in the Super Chats. Every little bit of support that you guys provide is all cumulative, and it all makes me able to do what I love to do for my living. So thank you very much to each and every one of you. And everybody have a fantastic month. If I don't don't see you here for a private session between now and then I'll see you back here on the next video. Peace out.